Other big headline tonight, we are tracking the impact of historic flooding in Indiana. So let's take a live look right now at some of the damage that's caused by the flooding in the eastern part of the state.
Extensive damage. With the water now going down, we're getting a better idea of the destruction that is left behind in Wayne County as we take a live look there at some people perhaps clearing out the home and the items that have been damaged from this flooding. It's not the same story everywhere, though.
So we want to show you the video from above, drone cam 13. This is the Riverwood neighborhood. We have now switched over to Hamilton County. This is up in Noblesville, and this is where you can see houses that are there are already covered by the floodwater.
And scenes like this are why Governor Braun is asking for a presidential emergency declaration that basically allows FEMA to bring in federal resources to help Hoosiers throughout Indiana. Thankfully, the rain has let up just a bit.
We're looking at satellite radar right here, and you can see a few light showers in the area. When you take a look at our live radar right now, this is what we see.
And we've got live team coverage for you tonight, all the flooding we're seeing across central Indiana.
Emily Longnecker is in Madison County. That's where the Anderson community is on high alert. We are going to start with Samantha Johnson. She's live in Hamilton County, where we just showed you that view from above of that neighborhood. Just the water is exceptionally high there, Sam.
Anne-Marie and Destin, it is, and it's devastating. If we want to take a minute just to look around me, as far as I can see behind me, everything is underwater. We just heard from the folks who were in this white home here. They say they came through last night and moved things about 3 feet off the ground. Now they're realizing that is simply not enough, because if you take a look straight down this road here, believe it or not, there are 2 full blocks. And then that is the White River that has now completely taken over this neighborhood here, rushing southbound and just filling the streets of this neighborhood in the meantime. Those road closed high water signs practically underwater themselves at this point. And then if you look just to the left, you'll notice a giant propane tank. Neighbors here said they saw that floating down the river. They were able to go after it and tie it down before it was able to get any more destructive in this neighborhood. Just beyond that propane tank, that fence back there, we just talked to the man who helped renovate that fence. He says it's the 6-foot fence, almost completely underwater at this point. We know this is not the only area in Hamilton County that has been devastated by these floodwaters, shutting down major thoroughfares all across Hamilton County tonight. That's why we are seeing that state of emergency here in the county. What you're looking at now is a bird's eye view of what's left of State Road 19. This is just west of downtown Noblesville. Other parts of town too, State Road 37, 13, 213, Allisonville Road, all closed for portions of the day today. We saw so many people who were just out and about trying to take in what has become a historic moment in the county and trying to wrap their heads around how it all happened.
Super, super deep. Houses are underwater. People are trying to salvage anything they can.
Last time 19 flooded was maybe 10 years ago, and it wasn't even close to that where the bridge is going over.
Right now we've got one of our big 20-foot moving trucks that slowly getting taken on by the water and pushed down the hill, so he had to call the tow truck to come and try and settle that.
Oh, it was a day for the guys over at Swartz Bait and Tackle, if you're familiar with that area, calling in tow trucks to help get their trailers out of sweeping waters there. Thankfully, we can tell you they made it. They say they haven't seen water that high in 23 years. No one, thankfully, hurt there today. Back here in the Riverwood neighborhood, like we mentioned, this thing has not crested yet. These waters will continue to rise, perhaps just a little bit through the evening, like Rob mentioned, expected to crest sometime tonight or overnight. In the meantime, it's quiet here because all the folks behind us have evacuated, part of a voluntary evacuation order. The message from first responders right now is if your home looks like this, get out now while you can. If you are dry, stay home, stay off the roads, and only leave if you have to. We'll tell you more about how you can help and give back coming up in the next hour. We'll see you soon.
Well, it's great to hear that those people behind you heeded the warnings and left on their own. Samantha, thanks. Live in Hamilton County. We'll see you again at 6.
Yeah, it can be a real drain on resources to go back and rescue people that decided to stay. In Tipton County, the commissioners there are now declaring a local disaster emergency because of the flooding.
City and county emergency officials, they're coordinating the flood response, and they want you to evacuate as soon as you can before that water rises even more. Madison County is also seeing historic flooding tonight along the White River.
And that's where we find Emily Longnecker tonight. Emily, you're live in Anderson. You've been there all day. How are things developing?
Well, Ann and Dustin, you know, parts of the city still remain under a mandatory evacuation order. People that had to get out yesterday when first responders came door to door and told them that they had to leave. And I just want to take a look. We're along here on East 8th Street, and you can see some of the neighborhoods here near the White River that runs parallel to this. Those homes had to be evacuated. Now, this is East 8th Street, and the bridge beyond this flooded area here is the Eisenhower Bridge, which leads into downtown Anderson, but you can't even get to that bridge because you can see this entire street is still flooded. Businesses here, most of them along East 8th Street, are closed, except for this one beauty supply store that remained open. Employees here have watched the water coming up all day. Take a listen.
We are open but closed. Waters to my front of door is very bad for my businesses. So hopefully we can fix it soon, but Mother Nature nobody can handle, you know. It's gonna be, they say about 100 years is a habit happening. So hopefully soon we can come back to businesses again.
And we've been here, you know, off and on since this morning. And when we first got here on East 8th Street, the water was only up to the corner of that building, and throughout the day it's just creeped up and creeped up and creeped up and creeped up. And you've heard the employee there talking about, you know, this is bad for business. But I got to tell you, while we have been here, we have seen people going in and out of the beauty supply store, actually wading through the water and going in the door and getting their supplies. So, you know, even flood waters cannot keep folks away from items that they want to get or that they deem necessary, and they've been able to wade in there and get that. We've also seen people driving through flooded roads, which first responders tell you you are not supposed to do. And there have been several rescues that the fire department has had to do here in Anderson because people have done that. The Indiana National Guard has been on scene, and we're going to tell you about that coming up at 5:30. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Emily, thanks so much. Good job keeping us up to date. It's just impressive no matter where we go, Dustin. We see the same scenario, and that's headed here to Indy.
Remarkable.